Hello and welcome to another video brought to you by Dorkdom Gaming. In today's video we're going to finish up the Demons of Chaos. We're going to go over a few war scrolls that have the ability of choosing which god you prefer. So without further ado, let's begin. The next war scroll is Bellacore. His war scroll costs 240 points. His keywords are Chaos Demon, Hero, Wizard, Demon Prince, and Bellacore. He moves 12 inches with a 4-up save, Bravery 10, and 8 wounds. His melee attack is a 1-inch range with 6 attacks, hits on 3s, wounds on 3s, -2 rend, and does 2 damage. His abilities are the Shadow Form. Ignore the weapon's rend when making saving rolls for Bellacore. The next ability, the Dark Master. After setup is complete, secretly write down a unit in the enemy's army. At the start of one of your opponent's hero phases, you can reveal your choice. For the rest of the battle round, your opponent must roll a dice each time that unit attempts to cast a spell, move, charge, or attack. On a 4 or more, that action can be performed as normal. Otherwise, they have fallen to Bellacore's evil plans. The next ability is Lord of Torment. If any model flee from a unit within 10 inches of Bellacore, he is reinvigorated by their suffering and immediately heals D3 wounds. The Bellacore is also a caster, and he can attempt to cast 2 different spells in each of your hero phases, and also can attempt to bind 2 spells also in each of your hero phases. He knows the Arcane Bolt, Mystic Shield, and Enfeebling Foe spell. Enfeebling Foe has a casting value of 6. If successfully cast, pick one visible enemy unit within 18 inches. Until your next hero phase, the opposing player must subtract 1 from any wound rolls he makes for that unit in combat phase. Also, Bellacore can fly. Now, Bellacore is really cool. He has the ability of stopping one unit pretty decently throughout one turn, making them roll a 4 or more. And if they don't, they roll a 3, 2, or 1. They're not casting spells, they're not moving, they're not charging, they're not hitting you in close combat. And it's also nice to see when a unit flees, Bellacore is healing D3 wounds. He's no chump. He has 8 wounds, he has a 4-up save. You can't reduce, when you hit him with Rend, he doesn't care. He's also great in combat with 6 attacks. He's hitting on 3s, he's wounding on 3s, he does -2 rend, and he's also doing 2 damage. So he does everything pretty good. Nothing extremely great, but everything pretty good. So for 240 points, he's really awesome. The next war scroll we're going to talk about today is the Demon Prince. Now, the Demon Prince war scroll costs 160 points, and their keywords completely depend on the mark you decide to give them. You can give them either Korn or Nurgle or Zeech or even Slaanesh, or you don't have to give them a mark at all. Now, Demon Princes move 8 inches, but you can also make them fly. If you choose to make them fly, their move characteristic goes from 8 to 12. Now, their save is a 4-up, the bravery is 10, and they have 8 wounds. They have to pick between 2 close combat attacks. The first one they have to pick would either be the Demonic Axe, which has a 2-inch range. It hits as 4 attacks. It hits on a 4, it wounds on a 3, it does -2 rend, and does D3 damage. The other attack you can choose would be the Hellforge Sword, and has a 2-inch range with 4 attacks, hits on 3s, wounds on 3s, -1 rend, and does D3 damage. All Demon Princes will have the Talons. Now that's a 1-inch range with 3 attacks, hits on 4s, wounds on 3s, no rend, but does 2 damage. Now the abilities are: a Demon Prince that is not dedicated to one of the Chaos Gods heals 1 wound at the end of any combat phase in which it killed any models. If it killed a hero or a monster, it heals D3 wounds instead. Immortal Champion. When you set up a model, you can declare that it is dedicated to a specific god: Korn, Nurgle, Zeech, or Slaanesh. Now, depending on who you are, you get different benefits. Now, if you decide to choose Korn, you can add 1 to all hit rolls made for Korn Demon Princes. If you choose to have a Nurgle Demon Prince has a 3-up save rather than a 4. If you choose Zeech, a Zeech Demon Prince is a wizard. It can attempt to cast or unbind 1 spell in the hero phase, and knows either the Arcane Bolt or Mystic Shield. Or you can choose Slaanesh. Now, Slaanesh, when your opponent selects a unit within 3 inches of the Demon Prince to pile in and attack in the combat phase, you can immediately select the Demon Prince to pile in and attack before the enemy unit, even though it was not your turn to do so. This model can only do this if it is not already attacked in this phase. Also, all your casters will know the Summon Demon Prince. It's a casting value of 8, and you get to select to put one Demon Prince within 16 inches of your caster, but more than 9 inches away from an enemy unit. Now, Demon Princes are very customizable, and it's great having the ability of picking which god you want to actually use. It's also nice to see you can choose which weapons you want to use. And Demon Princes have a little bit of everything, kind of like Bellacore. They're not great in one specific category. They're actually good in most categories. They have a good punch. They're moving fast. They have a good amount of wounds. Their save is pretty decent, especially if you make them Nurgle. You get a 3-up save. Sometimes you might not even want to have a mark at all and just heal wounds every time you do damage, or D3 wounds if you happen to kill a hero or a monster. But my personal favorite is Slaanesh. Being able to keep your Demon Prince next to a unit. Somebody tells, hey, I'm piling, and you're like, let me pile in first, and I'm going to hit you first. That's really, really cool. So again, Demon Princes definitely have a place in my army. The next War Scroll of Furies. Now this War Scroll costs 60 points, and their keywords are Chaos Demon Furies. Their characteristics are Movement 12 with a 5-up save, Bravery 10 and 1 wounds. Their close combat attack is a 1-inch range with 2 attacks, hits on 4s, wounds on 4s, no rend, and does 1 damage. Furies can fly. The abilities are the Shadows of the Dark Gods. If you wish, when setting up this unit, you can pick one of the following keywords to apply to this unit for the duration of the battle: Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle, or Slaanesh. Next ability, Prey Upon Terror. Roll a dice every time an enemy unit fails a battle shock test within 12 inches of any Furies. On a roll of a 4 or more, an additional model from the same unit is pounced upon and devoured by the Furies. All of your casters will know the Summon Fury special rule. It's a casting value of 6, and you can set up a unit of 5 Furies within 16 inches of your caster, but more than 9 inches away from an enemy unit. If you happen to roll 11 or more, you can set up a unit of 10 Furies instead. Now Furies, again, you get 5 of them for only 60 points. They're a great unit to either screen and confuse, or take a punishment, or again to have that cool ability of killing one additional model if they decide to fail their battle shock test. But I like to use these models to soak up some damage so that my hard-hitting units can go on there and destroy my opponent. The next War Scroll we're going to talk about today is the Soul Grinder. Now this War Scroll costs 280 points. His keywords are Chaos, Demon, Monster, and Soul Grinder. His movement characteristics depends on how many wounds it has. It starts at 12 inches, and as it takes 4 wounds, it goes to 10, 7 wounds moves 8, takes 11 to 13, moves 7. If it takes 14 or more, it only moves 6, but again, it starts at moving 12. It has a 4-up save with Bravery 10 and 16 wounds. Now the Soul Grinder has multiple missile weapons and multiple choices of melee weapons. For his missile weapons, he knows both of them. The Harvester Cannon, which is a 16-inch range. Attack starts at D6, and as he starts taking wounds, it goes from D6 to D3 to 1, but again, it starts at D6. Now the Harvester Cannon hits on a 4, wounds on a 3, -1 rend, and does 1 damage. His next missile weapon is a 20-inch range with 1 attack. It hits on a 4, it wounds on a 3, it does -2 rend, and does 3 damage. His melee attacks are the Piston-Driven Legs, a 1-inch range with 6 attacks, but again, as it takes damage, the legs go from 6 to 5 to 4 to 3 to 2, but again, it starts at 6. It hits on 4s, it wounds on 3s, it does -1 rend, and does 1 damage. He also knows the Hellforge Claw, a 2-inch range with 1 attack. It hits on a 4, it wounds on a 3, it does -2 rend, and does D6 damage. Now the Soul Grinder has to pick between the next 2 melee weapons. He can only know one of them. The first one is the Warp Metal Blade, a 2-inch range with 2 attacks. It hits on a 4, it wounds on a 3, it does -2 rend, and does 3 damage. The other missile weapon can be the Talon, a 2-inch range with 4 attacks. It hits on a 3, it wounds on a 3, it does -1 rend, but it does D3 damage. And again, you have to pick between one of them. Now the Soul Grinder's abilities: Demon Engine of the Dark Gods. If you wish, when setting up the Soul Grinder, you can pick between one of these keywords: Khorne, Tzeentch, Nurgle, or Slaanesh. The next ability is a Soul Grinder can shoot even if it ran in its movement phase. The next ability is Caught by the Claw. Each time a Hellforged Claw attack hits a hero or a monster, you and your opponent both secretly use a dice to select a number and hide it underneath your hand. Reveal the dice and count to 3. If they are the same number, that unit suffers 6 mortal wounds. If it happens to be the same number, if you guys both randomly selected the same number, all of your casters will know the Summon Soul Grinder special rule. And it's a casting value of a 10, and you get a Soul Grinder within 16 inches of your caster, but more than 9 inches away from an enemy unit. Now, I'm a big fan of the Soul Grinder. It has a lot of shooting attacks. It has a good amount of close combat attacks. It's hard to kill with a 16 wounds, with a 4-up save, bravery 10, and it also moves very, very fast. The ability of moving up there, shooting with your d6 shots, plus, of course, that 20-inch one shot that does 3 wounds, and then being able to run and shoot and get in there, and it's really, really good. And if you haven't had a chance to play with it, definitely give it a shot. Well, this brings us to the end of our video. I really wanted to say thank you to everyone for listening to us. I haven't had a chance to really put together some videos. I've been really focused on building a gaming table, and my friends also got me hooked on some X-Wing, which I think I'll do some videos in the future if you guys are interested. But again, if you like these kind of videos, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below if you have any recommendations. But that's it. Thanks a lot.